What discussions is the Cabinet Secretary having with Natural Resources Wales regarding their 2003-24 annual report and accounts, which include details of HMRC investigations into NRW's historic compliance of off-payroll working requirements and the extent of the potential liability that may be owed?
Diolch, James. Thank you for the question. Welsh Government has increased its engagement with NRW to monitor progress in resolving the matter and to learn lessons from how the position came about. This is an operational matter for NRW as it continues in its discussions with HMRC to bring about resolution.
Thank you for your answer, Cabinet Secretary. It is deeply troubling to learn that Natural Resources Wales have been under investigation by HMRC, and it has been estimated in the press that the Welsh taxpayers may be on the hook for as much as £19 million. That's a truly staggering figure. Yet, this isn't the first time that NRW have misled the public when it comes to their financial competencies. The Countryside Lions have previously accused Natural Resources Wales of misleading the public during its public consultation following the organisation's purchase of land in Carmarthenshire. Cabinet Secretary, looking at the numerous financial-related controversies that NRW has created since its creation in 2013, it is clear they are incapable of managing their finances. So I ask you, what is the total liability anticipated from this latest fiasco at NRW? And how much more Welsh taxpayer money are we going to have to fork out to cover for NRW's mess? And I'd also like to ask you the question of your role as the Deputy First Minister. What work is the Welsh Government doing to look across government and public organisations in Wales about the IR35 rules to make sure that no other organisation, whether that be Welsh Government or local authorities, have fell foul of the rules and are going to owe HMRC millions of pounds of taxpayer money?
Well, Llywydd, first of all, let's acknowledge that this is a significant issue that NRW need to resolve in its discussions with HMRC. But one thing I will not do is engage in political attacks on the organisation, which is the principal environmental guardian and regulator within this space. So as we just saw, it's expanded into a larger attack on NRW, the organisation. Just to make crystal clear, NRW is not the only organisation that's been subject to IR35 investigations by HMRC. Indeed, under the UK Conservative government, the MOJ and DEFRA, I'm sure there might be others as well, also have been in this predicament. But it is, for NRW, a Welsh Government-sponsored body, but not run by Welsh Government, to actually engage now, as they are doing, with HMRC to resolve this. And just to make clear, contrary, by the way, to some of the suggestions made on the Conservative Twitter pages and by the leader of the Conservative opposition during this week in the Senedd, this is not the taxpayer opening a chequebook to NRW. In fact, the reason that Welsh Government has made, I think, the right decision to enable NRW to enter into those negotiations with HMRC with a loan was to avoid, actually, higher costs that could accrue through interest rates on that. So, in fact, this is a wise use of taxpayers' money to avoid it getting into a more difficult situation. And by the way, the 19 million is an indicative amount, and I made a written statement on Monday, James, as you know, and I've been making great efforts, by the way, just to say, to engage with the shadow spokespeople as well on this issue, but unfortunately I've had no response.
I've never had an email from you.
And that's disappointing, because I would have liked to have gone through the real detail of this. However, let me just say, NRW's annual report and the accounts include details of HMRC's investigations into what is a historic compliance issue with IR35 rules and the extent of a potential liability. What's those words? Potential liability that may be owed. Llywydd, we laid the written statement on Monday, as you know. They are discussing this matter between NRW and HMRC to bring forth a resolution. We are continuing to work with NRW to provide necessary support as it goes through the process. I've discussed this with the NRW's chair regularly since it's come to my attention, including as recently as Monday. I've asked my officials to work with NRW to develop enhanced monitoring arrangements and further support for capacity and capability as is required. But let's be clear as well. When we put these political attacks on NRW that go beyond this IR35 issue, as we saw from earlier this week in the Senedd, we are facing a climate and a nature crisis NRW's work as a regulator is of the utmost importance to us all, and the professional and the passionate NRW staff work day in, day out to help protect nature and people in Wales. Now, Welsh Government does indeed have a clear role, Llywydd, in supporting NRW in fulfilling those responsibilities and ensuring that its vital work will continue, and we will support NRW in its discussions with HMRC.